Hi, good to see you. I want to talk today about the song Time Waits for No One, Rolling Stones, 1974. And if you were a fan, as I was, of the Stones in 74, I'm sure you were, right? No, you weren't born back then probably, but this was quite a departure for Mick Taylor. The long solo, it's like a 3-minute solo at the end of this song, and it's very different from anything that I had ever heard Mick Taylor play before. I knew him as mostly a bluesy player, and this whole song it's basically major scale. The famous Mick Taylor vibrato, which is one of his great strengths, in my opinion. It's nowhere to be found in this song, almost not at all. And to be honest, he's always been a mindful vibrato user. He doesn't just, like I tend to, and a lot of guitar players, I just, I play a note and I just automatically vibrato it. He's never been that way. And in this song, I think he probably made the conscious choice that he's going to play it basically without vibrato. And maybe, I think he probably was influenced by Carlos Santana. He says that he had made a trip to Brazil and heard Latin guitar players sound their Latin music. I think it sounds to me a lot like the stuff Carlos Santana plays, and Carlos Santana didn't use a lot of vibrato for a long time there. So it's a very different sort of thing than I'm used to hearing from Mick Taylor, and it's almost entirely scale-based playing. I can show you what I mean in a little while, but there's not much in the way of arpeggios. There's no double stops or no chromatic runs, the kind of stuff that guitar players like to throw in to spice up their playing. And it's all in the C major scale, basically. And, you might say to me, well, apparently that works then, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Because it sounds incredible. It's one of his best known solos. So that just goes to show you, if you're a gifted improviser like Mick Taylor, you can make a great solo out of any materials. And I don't think this may be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think he'd been playing in this style for very long when he did this solo. And I think he was kind of finding his way and using his natural innate abilities with melody and improvisation. And added to that, the great Nicky Hopkins piano playing. The end of this song, the 3-minute instrumental thing at the end of the song is just overpowering. It's just extremely emotional, and one of the great minutes and one of the great moments in rock music, I think. Anyway, so having said that, let's dig into this a little bit, and we'll talk about various parts of the song, starting with just the basic chords of the thing, okay? I should mention, it's also quite possible that I'd never heard Mick Taylor play this style before, because the Stones, I didn't really follow his career before or after the Stones. Maybe some of you have, but Stones didn't use the solo is F major 7th and C major 7th. So these are chords that the Stones didn't use very often. So that probably brought something out of Mick Taylor that he hadn't had a chance to do before. And as I said, the results speak for themselves. Okay, let's just start off by going through the chords to this song. The way you play it, for instance, in a band with just one guitar player, or maybe if you just wanted to sing along with it on acoustic guitar or something. So it starts off like this. Which are the verse chords, and it's also the intro. What we've got there is an A7th. Just make an A minor chord, regular A minor chord. Add the little finger on the 3rd fret of the high E string. That G note there, that's the 7th of the chord. So gives it kind of a cool, mysterious sound. Then you go down to an E minor and add this D note on the 3rd fret of the B string. Again, that's a 7th chord. So you just toggle back and forth between the A minor 7th and the E minor 7th. That's the verse. Then we get to the chorus. The chorus is like this. That's D in D minor, A minor, F and C, and A minor, E minor, C, G. Once again. Okay, so that's the verse and the chorus. The only other part of the song is the solo section, when Mick Taylor is playing his solo. And this is a kind of a departure for the Stones. It's based on minor 7th chords. So it's an F minor 7, excuse me, it's based on major 7th chords. F major 7th and a C major 7th. So it's like this. And that's the place where Mick Taylor's playing the solo. And the first time around is very short. The second solo is like 3 minutes long or something. But it's all just those two chords. F major 7th, C major 7th. Now an F major 7th is just, it's like an F chord. I'm sure everyone knows this version of an F chord, 4-string F chord, and then lift up your pointer finger, your index finger there, so that you have an open E string. And that's an F major 7th. C major 7th is just, well, you play a regular C chord, which of course everyone knows, and then you pick up the index finger again. So you're just holding down these two notes on the A and D string. And that's a C major 7th. And let's look at this little lick that goes over the chorus part. I think it's really cool. It kind of follows the vocal melody anyway, but it's like this. Okay, that is just kind of a slide up on the G string from the 5th to the 7th fret. And you're outlining a a D6 chord here, D minor 6 chord. On the high E string there, you're just going from the 5th to the 7th fret there. Otherwise, it's just like a regular D minor chord. And then you do a similar thing on an A minor chord. You're doing that same little lick up from the 5th to the 7th on the high E string. And then it's this. And then it's starting right here on the 3rd fret of the D string. And that's just a little hammer on. And then so let's talk about the solo here for a while. There's a kind of a repeating lick that goes through. It keeps coming back during the solo. Starts it off and comes back later, and it's all based on a C major scale, and it starts on a G note. So it's just, note by note straight up the C major scale, which I'm sure you know, or if not, there's a lot of places online where you can get the C major scale, various positions of it. It's just like, and this entire solo is it's basically, it's all just in the C major scale. There are a couple little major pentatonic licks in there, but that's also part of the C major scale, so I count that. And occasionally it starts down here lower. There's a lower octave, plays it once in a while. Starting on that lower G, but the main riff, the main lick is up here. You might have better luck playing it in a different position, like at the 12th fret here, this C major scale position. Because that kind of, you can play the whole thing in one position without moving around. So I would suggest just kind of noodling around in a C major scale, and I think you'll find that it's all going to sound pretty good against these chords. There's this thing that Mick Taylor does a lot, which is like a a triplet thing, like. Or. and down a scale position playing like this. Let's see. And that really works. It's impossible to make it sound bad just doing that. But to really do what Mick Taylor is doing, or to approximate it, you have to know the scales and all the positions and to be able to connect them, because he's doing a lot of linear playing.